Retailer, the Spar Group, released their annual financials for the year ended September 2024. The company reported group turnover coming in at 152.3 billion rand. That's up 4% on the year before, with headline earnings per share up just over 11% at 917.9 cents. The retailer has described the operating environment as challenging across the regions that it operates in and has decided not to give shareholders a final dividend on this occasion. Well, to get a sense of what's been happening in the period under review, I'm joined by Angelo Swartz. He's the CEO at the Spar Group. Thank you very much, Angelo, for joining us. So you've characterized the economic environment that you operate in as quite challenging. Perhaps you can give us a sense of the performances across the regions that you play in.
Yeah, I think generally the economic environment across the globe has been challenging in the last while, although South Africa obviously looking a lot more positive of late. Our financial year runs from October to September. So really the South African business saw the benefits of that towards the tail end of the year. But overall, the year was quite challenging. I think our operations in Europe all suffered for a very weak macro environment in Europe in general. Ireland a bit better than the rest of Europe, but still challenging cost of living crisis, as has been felt in most Western countries. Felt keenly in Ireland, the UK, quite a bit of economic turmoil there, and really challenging macro environment. Consumers under lots and lots of pressure, and then minimum wage increases in that country impacting our performance somewhat. And then in the Swiss business, Switzerland really under pressure. The Swiss environment is novel in the sense that Switzerland is close enough to most European countries, and because of the difference in food costs in Switzerland and mainland Europe, many consumers travel across the border to buy food in whichever neighboring country they happen to be closest to, either Italy, France, or Germany. Sometimes Austria, and the strengthening Swiss franc has impacted that as well, with Swiss consumers under as much pressure from inflation as the rest of the Western world.
Yeah. So, Angelo, why have you decided to completely withdraw from the market of Poland?
Yes, we have. So as you know, we made an investment into Poland some 5 years ago, 4.5, 5 years ago. It's been a very challenging market for us. Obviously, the timing of going to Switzerland was also quite challenging, taking ownership of that business a few days before COVID lockdowns hit in Europe. So the first 2 years were challenging for reasons outside of our control. But having looked at it now, we think Poland is a great investment, and with a very big market. But given the timing for the group and where we are from a balance sheet structure point of view, we don't think hanging around there to get that business right is the wisest thing to do.
Right. So when it comes to the South African market, your report makes an observation around how lower LSM consumers responded more positively to the pricing on offer compared to your more well-heeled consumer. Perhaps you can talk a little bit further about that.
Yes, I think sometimes an under-recognized strength of the Spar Group is how well we do in township and rural markets, and that's been no exception this year. We've had exceptionally strong growth in our township and rural markets, but we have been under a bit more pressure in the wealthier segment of the market, not growing as well there, and that is something that we intend to turn around. But it certainly was the reality we faced in the year gone past.
So you registered a positive swing in your turnover in your Build It division. What sense are you getting around how the area of DIY and construction is doing?
Yeah, in fact, in the last post results, that's only strengthened. I think the two-pot system certainly, consumers, whatever cash they're getting from that, are using that for durables. I think you've seen something similar in the clothing and home industry. We certainly see the benefits of that in our building business, and also I think that the more positive outlook in SA has impacted confidence and the confidence of consumers, homeowners, and businesses to invest in their own properties, and that certainly has we've seen a positive upswing there.
So how have you been ticking the usual boxes of ensuring greater efficiencies to improve your margins? And also I see that you've managed to whittle down your debt by about 2 billion rand, which now stands at 9 billion rand.
Yeah, I think that's been a massive positive for us. It's been one of our primary focuses for the past year. I think the group's debt position is something that has concerned our shareholders, and we've listened and paid attention. And the group remains exceptionally cash generative, and we've been able to reduce that debt. We have benefited from a stronger rand, given that the majority of our debt is offshore. But both our Swiss and Irish businesses in local currency have reduced their debt as well, and have paid down quite a bit of that debt. We've introduced debt onto the South African balance sheet for the first time, having repatriated the debt from Poland. And it is our intention to pay that debt down as quickly as possible.
All right, super. Angelo, we're going to leave it there as we've run out of time. More questions to ask you, but not enough time. That was Angelo Swartz. He's the CEO of the Spar Group.